Katie and welcome back to my booktube channel. Today's video is a book haul, and I feel like most of my videos this year have been book hauls, but I don't really have a lot of self-control, and also buying books is just a way to give myself some comfort, make myself happy, and at the end of April my grandma passed away, so I needed a little extra happiness. I went to like a bunch of bookstores, and once I walk into a bookstore I can't leave empty-handed, so I have like 10 to 15 books to show you guys, so let's jump into it. Okay, these first couple books are actually pre-orders that came in, and the first one is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I am so excited to read this one. I read Beach Read, it might have been like over a year ago at this point, and I loved it. I also own People We Meet on Vacation, but I haven't read that one yet, just because I didn't get it in time for summer and it feels very summery, so maybe soon. But I'm super excited to read this one. All I know is that this romance involves a literary agent and an editor, and I think it also takes place in a small town, which has been one of my favorite tropes recently, so I'm really excited to read this. And I love when books have some kind of like bookish main characters. I think it's so fun, and I love Emily Henry's writing, so I have a feeling I'm going to adore this book. The other pre-order that I got was Set on You by Amy Leah, and all I know about it is that it's a gym romance, and it might even be enemies to lovers. I'm not positive, but I know that the guy ends up using all of the equipment that she wants to use, and it really ticks her off. I think it happens like a bunch of times in a row, and that's how they kind of know each other. I know that she also does something on social media. I'm not quite sure what it is, and I also know that I think the grandparents end up getting married, so there's also a little forced proximity because they keep seeing each other at that event and everything that goes along with it. And that's all I know, but it sounds so cute, and I was really excited for this, so I'm really glad I finally have it in my hands. Then I ended up going to Barnes & Noble. That's where my main part of this book haul came from. And once I go into Barnes & Noble, I genuinely have no self-control, especially when I see books that I've been seeing on Book Talk that I've never seen in stores before. I like have to go buy them. So when I found Zodiac Academy books, I had to grab them. So I got The Awakening, which is the first book, and then I also got The Awakening as Told by the Boys. These were the only two that they had, but I had to pick them up. I've read the first 6 books in this series. Haven't read this one. I also haven't finished book 7 yet, but I adore this series. I finally understand why everybody always raves about it, and I'm so glad to own some of the books. I'm really hoping to complete the series at some point, but, oh, these are by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. I didn't say that part, but these are amazing. I'm not really gonna go into too much detail because I feel like everybody has heard of these books, but I love them. And also, I know people always say that like it gets better after the first book, and it definitely does. It is like a bully romance, so if that's not for you, you probably won't like these because it is like definitely an intense bully romance, but it's just so good. I love these books so much. I can't even speak. Then I found Sinner by Sierra Simone, which is the sequel to Priest. I don't know if it's actually a sequel. I think it's just a companion novel, but I enjoyed Priest. It wasn't my absolute favorite, but I thought it was a really interesting story, and I'm really excited to move on. I know that people like the second and third books way better than book 1, so I'm hoping that same thing happens for me. I know absolutely nothing about this, but I enjoyed Sierra Simone's writing, and I know this is like a spicy, like dark romance, so that's really all I need to know. The next one I picked up was Electric Idol by Katie Robert. This is the sequel to Neon Gods. Again, it might just be a companion novel. I'm not positive, but Neon Gods followed Hades and Persephone, and this follows Psyche and Eros, and I am really excited. I feel like it's going to be really interesting. I don't really know anything about Psyche and Eros from mythology, so I am going to have a really good time, and I also just love the way Olympus is set up in this world. It's just really cool, and also it comes with like maps at the beginning, which is really helpful. We have like this and also this map, which I looked at a lot while I was reading Neon Gods, so I'm really excited. as you'll find out, I don't really know a lot about the books I pick up. If I hear good reviews from like multiple people on Book Talk or Goodreads or BookTube, or like if my favorite like book talkers recommend it, that's really all it takes, even if I know nothing about it. So I just know I like Neon Gods and I wanted to pick up the sequel. Then I had to get this one. I don't really know if I'm going to enjoy it or not. I feel like this book is very polarizing, so we'll see. But I ended up getting Credence by Penelope Douglas. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I have to read this. I want to know where I stand, and I'm not going to really go into detail about what this is about, but I've only read one other Penelope Douglas book. I think I've only read Punk 57, and that's it. But I'm really interested to read more of their books, and I feel like this is going to be an experience. Whether I love it or hate it, this is going to be a journey, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for it yet, but one day I will read this and I will let you guys know my opinion. I was very surprised to see this next book, but I ended up grabbing A Dance with the Fae Prince by Elise Kova. I read A Deal with the Elf King for what feels like forever ago, and this book came out really quick after I finished the first book, and for some reason I never picked it up. This is the first time I've seen it in stores, so I had to grab it. But this is a companion novel. I don't even know if you would call it a companion novel. It just takes place in the same world, but it has like completely different characters. Honestly, that's probably the definition of a companion novel. But it's part of her Married to Magic series, and this one, it says that it is inspired by the tale of Psyche and Eros and also Cinderella. And that's really interesting to me. It also says it's perfect for readers who enjoyed A Court of Silver Flames and An Enchantment of Ravens. It says it's a slow burn romance, has a swoon-worthy couple, and steaminess that ranges from simmering to sizzling. So it just is going to be really interesting. I loved the way Elise Kova wrote the world in A Deal with the Elf King. Her writing was amazing. The world building was fantastic for a standalone book that's only like about the same size as this one. And I know that this book is going to be great, so I'm really excited to own it. The last book I got from Barnes & Noble was Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. I heard so many good things about this book, and I think Larry Reeds was one of the first people to recommend this to me, and she's my favorite. I love Larissa, so I really just want to read this. I don't know too much about it. I think that she ends up like sexting some stranger, and that's really all I know about it. So it like turns into like this anonymous relationship, but I also know that I forget what she does, but something happens where she has to move in with her brother and like his best friend, and I don't know. That's really all I know, but it sounds really interesting and complicated, and I love it because each chapter for the chapter number has like this little text bubble. Oh, I don't even think you can see that. There we go. And it's so cute. I've just heard amazing things, and it just looks so cute. Look at this pink cover. I don't really own a lot of pink books, so it just seems adorable. The last few books of this haul I got from Books A Million, and the first one isn't really anything I'll end up reviewing or anything because I don't think I really can, but I ended up getting this like road trip book. It's USA State by State, the best things to do in every state for your travel bucket list. I have this goal of going to all 50 states. I haven't really been anywhere outside of Ohio. I mean, I've been to the surrounding states and I've been to Florida, but I haven't really traveled anywhere else, and I would love to travel to all 50 states. I want to get one of those like really cute maps where I could take a picture with my fiance in each state and cut it out in the shape of that state and like frame it in our living room. I think that would be super cute. So I got this because I don't know what the heck to do in a lot of these states. So this should help me with that. I also finally picked up The Legacy by Elle Kennedy. This is the epilogue novel in the Off-Campus series, and I feel like I've heard mixed reviews about it, but I'm really excited to see these characters again. This basically is like 4 novellas that follow all 4 couples we saw in the Off-Campus series, and I'm really excited to see what happens. On the back, it says their is a wedding, a proposal, an elopement, and a surprise pregnancy. So that covers a lot of things, so we'll see what I think about it. I also ended up getting The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I have seen a lot of people talk about this, and I actually like borrowed it from Kindle Unlimited like forever ago and just haven't picked it up, but I feel like since I own a physical copy, I have a better chance of reading it. But all I know is a fake dating football romance, and it's also like best friends to lovers. It looks like she does ballet and he's obviously the football player, and I think she ends up getting drunk and basically saying that they're together or that she had a crush on him or something, and the media kind of ran with it, so they have to pretend to date in order to like kind of go with what the media thinks is happening. And it just sounds really interesting because I think they're both like completely in love with each other, but they think the other person doesn't love them back. So it will be a very interesting dynamic. I'm excited to read it. It's pretty short, so I feel like this is a fun like summer read. And then last but not least, I got The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, and I have been hearing Larissa talk about it a lot. She finally read this trilogy, and I really want to read it. They're all companion novels. This one, it follows Stella, who has Asperger's, and she has like no experience in the dating department. So she ends up hiring this guy, Michael, who, is he an escort? I think he's an escort. Yeah. She ends up hiring an escort to basically like teach her how to be in a relationship. So like how to like kiss and how foreplay works and like all that stuff. So she hires him to help her because I think she's also like rich. I can't remember. But what an interesting dynamic. Like the fact that she's wealthy enough to hire this escort to like teach her about how to be in a relationship. That's just such an interesting plot line, and I'm really excited to read it. I've seen this cover like for years and I never knew what it was about. I just thought it was like a math romance, so I never picked it up. But after learning that it's about like Stella and an escort, I mean, I am just so hyped to read this. I can't wait. I feel like this video is kind of all over the place, but that is the end of my book haul. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you've read any of these books, please leave your thoughts in the comments, but without spoilers, please. I would love to talk to you guys about these books, and of course, after I read them, there will be reviews on Goodreads, which is linked below, and I will also do a wrap-up video so you guys can hear all of my thoughts. But if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and if you do subscribe, please click the notification bell so you know when I upload next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in my next video.